what's happening at the dealership level is there's kind of a continental divide between age, right? So we've kind of missed a whole generation of people coming into the car business. So we've got really kind of an older regime that's at the management level and running dealerships pretty much the way they have been for years. The new people that are coming in are just have completely different expectations. And you know, a lot of people talk about Gen Y and the younger folks from a sometimes a little bit of a negative perspective, but I don't think it really should be looked at that way. Different doesn't mean negative, right?
No.
And based on their size, the quantity of people, there's 80 million of them, they're going to have a profound effect on our industry, right? So when they come into work at a dealership, if they even give us consideration, and they won't under the current model, we're going to have to change the way what we offer them, from hours and compensation to career path. They really want to see how they can grow into the dealership and grow through the dealership and become substantial people with purpose in a dealership. So the model's going to have to change completely.
You talked a little bit about, too, in the article that's in CBT News Magazine on the all-new CBT News Automotive Network about the criteria of hiring a good new horse. And we're going to put up a graphic to talk a little bit about that. And the first thing you talked about is that they should really just like in general to make a sale. I mean, you would think
Correct.
this is an obvious thing.
Well, it's not. But so a couple things you're going to find, when you look at the personality profile or the index for these folks, is that they have to, first of all, they have to be gregarious. They have to have a good personality, want to go out and speak to people, be comfortable with people, meeting people right away, those kinds of things. In the showroom side, there's a different model for what we refer to as the digital side. And then these folks just need to be very comfortable, and they have to want to win. They're going to like to win. And
you also say excellent phone skills. A lot of people,
correct.
like we talked about, you think that they're just going to come to you, fall in your lap. You're saying still not the case.
Not the case. So really what we're seeing is in dealerships there's a divide today in the showroom. So to some extent, and this is a little bit of a lift today, but I think it'll end up this way, we structure our dealerships somewhat in an opposite appropriate manner, right? So a typical dealership we'll just take 15 salespeople in the showroom and 4 or 5 in either a BDC or a digital sales department. Yet the BDC and the digital sales department is really the front door to the dealership. Most people, when they show up, are appointment-based today. They know exactly what they're looking for. They know what they want to purchase right away. So we are seeing a shift to the staffing in the complete opposite, and it's a little different animal, right? So these folks have to be articulate, skilled on email, be able to read the emails properly and see what's in them, and respond appropriately on the phone. So what happens specifically on the digital side is these folks, when people contact the dealership, now there's some outliers here in terms of like pre-owned car buyers are fairly urgent. They get to make their decisions pretty quickly, but sometimes new car customers are contacting a dealership more than one time. There's a communication, there's a time lapse, and these folks need to stay engaged and on top of these folks, and it takes some organizational skills to make that happen.
All right, so we have a lot of people that are looking down at that criteria and they're going, okay, I'm a new horse, check, check, check. I believe I do all of these things. What other advice would you have for them?
Well, that's a really good question. So the first thing I think I would do is say, be really true to your industry, right? One of the things that I like to see from a new hire sales consultant is being really engaged in learning about their industry, not just the dealership, but the industry. So we put so much focus on product knowledge, and it's all critical, but they really need to understand the consumer and the industry. Why does the car business function the way it does? What's changing? What's happening? So they can stay ahead of that curve a little bit.
Do you think old horses and new horses can live in the same pasture, so to speak?
Yeah, it's a very good analogy, right? So the answer to that is yes. The only thing I see is that when people are resistant, and you know what, it really doesn't matter if it's the car business or not. If someone's resistant to change, they're going to struggle. But one of the things that I like most about the car business, because you can tell I'm obviously not 28 years old, is that I think it keeps us young when we change constantly, right? There's a lot of opportunity to learn, engage, and just grow constantly. I think it's one of the best parts of the car business.